How can I involve my children's families more in their learning? What a brilliant question, and I'll tell you why it's a brilliant question. Typically, a child will spend 15% of his time in school, but 85% in the family home. Now, if Ofsted were talking to you now, they'd say, well, it's about the quality of parents' evenings, it's about the annual report, it's about the information on the website. But I could think it goes far, far deeper than that. Let's talk about the big one. Let's talk about parenting. Charles Deforge of Exeter University did some research a few years ago, and he concluded that if you take an average performing primary school and put into school improvement professionals, people like in the role that I used to have, the growth over a range of measures for 7-year-olds might be about 5%. But if you aim at making the parents as good as the best parents nationally, then the growth becomes something like 29%. So how can we make the parents as good as the best parents nationally? And in the limited time I've got to talk to you today, I'd like to talk about language, a language of love and a love of language. Now let's talk, and if it's done well, it will lead to 4 significant things happening, all beginning with the letter C. Children will develop confidence, curiosity, a sense of collaboration and conviviality, and the ability to communicate. My 7-year-old grandson comes to stay with us periodically, and the last time he came said, are you going to bring your reading book, Ronald? Because he needs to read. And Ronald looked at me and said, no, I don't think I'll bother. I've learnt enough about that now. Now, Ronald does need to read. He's got a closed mindset to read, and he's got poor experiences perhaps along the way. And the first thing is, reading with children is highly significant, but it has to be done well. It has to be done in the way that develops an open mindset. It mustn't be critical. And it needs to involve the use of praise, not just general praise like, oh, you're doing well, Ronald, but tell Ronald why he's doing well. Ronald, you built that word up beautifully. Ronald, you read that page excellently. And don't forget the power of story time. Children are made for stories. They're made to have stories read to them, and they're made to have stories made up for them. And children love stories, especially stories about parents and parents who mess things up. Then I'd like to go on to talk a little bit about outdoors. Dr. Richard Louv would argue that many children today are growing up with nature deficiency disorder. They're not outdoors enough, and as a consequence, they might know what a fronted adverbial clause is, but they don't know what it sounds like when a robin sings. We need to get the children outdoor more. Research for the television channel Eden suggests that many children think that cows hibernate in winter and conkers might come from an ash tree, or is it a beech tree, or maybe it is a sycamore tree. Chris Packham, he of Nature Watch, says that young children should at least eat 2 tadpoles during their life. They might taste a little bit gritty, but the power of learning outdoors and doing things outdoors is superb. Yes, it is about playing football or rounders and tennis, but sometimes it's just about opening the children's eyes to the world around them. What is beautiful, what is not beautiful, what is ugly, and so forth. Open the children's eyes to the world around them. And then let's just talk about communication. We need to play games with children. We need to, and I've got a friend who says, when I play a game with my child, I have to grind their nose into the dirt and beat them remorselessly, and then do a celebration lap of honour around the room. No, play it in a spirited way where, yes, you might be coaching children. Play loads of language games with children. Play I Spy, but can you play I Spy with alliteration? I spy with my little eye something beginning with S. What is it? It's sunny skies or green grass or whatever it may be. Can you play simile games with children so they're saying what things start to look like as you move around? But one of the biggest things you can do is play games around language registers. To be successful in life, children need to have access to a range of language registers. They need a formal one for when they're on interviews for jobs. They need a casual for one when they're playing football or sitting with their friends in the park. They need a consultative one to help them form views. They need an intimate one so they can start to express their feelings, and I suppose if they're going to become station announcers, they need a static one as well. Wittgenstein said the limits The limits of my language are my limits of the world. It's about right. If I've got one tip for families, make your home a language-rich place. Thank you for listening.